Shut up and sit down.
Hey you Skellywags, we're back, and I'm finally getting into the swing of things, juggling 3 kids, back at work, and I'm glad to be sitting down talking about toys. We survived another year of the constant barrage from toy companies urging us to spend our hard-earned cash. And this is a warning that 2024 looks like more of the same. Yamato continues with their unethical amount of products, especially from Warhammer 40k, and already a gargantuan amount for Horus Heresy. Toys Alliance continues with their line of abusive weather, but before that, let's take a look at what's coming from Heya Toys. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, Thomas Hewitt, Slaughter version. 5 companions are hounded and hunted by a disfigured chainsaw-wielding loon and his family of equally psychotic killers after they pick up a scared teenage hitchhiker. Standing just over 4 inches, this seems to be just a repaint of what we've got before, with 15 points of articulation. Comes with 2 weapons, his chainsaw and hammer. It's quite likely Heya paid a pretty penny for this license, so you can't really blame them for milking it for every penny it's worth. What would be good though is if we could see some other horror icons from Heya to pair with this maniacal character. New from Heya is Walking Dead, Dead City. The sequel series to the uber-popular Walking Dead, Dead City premiered revealing Negan as a wanted man for killing law enforcement officers and 4 others. Meanwhile, Maggie's base is ravaged by the Croat, and her son, Herschel, is kidnapped. Despite Negan's reluctance to get involved in more trouble, especially considering the memories it would stir up, reality forces him to reveal his radical side. At times he attempts to seek redemption through righteous actions, but often succumbs to uncontrollable extreme violence when faced with perceived threats. Arguably the most iconic character from the Walking Dead series, Negan will come with an iron pipe and iconic baseball bat, Lucille. He'll have 2 interchangeable hands, will stand about 4 inches tall. Looking quite impressive and grotesque is the Watcher King. To seek Negan's help, Maggie gives Ginny, who's Negan's young companion, a home in exchange for Maggie and Negan embarking on an adventure to Manhattan. The isolated city, bombed by the military in the virus outbreak, awaits them as an abandoned island infested with walkers. There they confront a formidable foe, the Walker King, a grotesque amalgamation of multiple walkers, slime, decayed fat, and other putrid substances. In a fierce battle, Maggie grapples with the monstrous entity as its mouths and arms relentlessly attack, an onslaught of nightmares closing in on her. This unique monstrosity will have 38 points of articulation. Additionally, the figure includes a randomly selected exclusive stand from 4 different appearances. It's great that we're still getting zombies in 1/18 scale. Newly announced by Heya from another spin-off show premiering later this year, we have the lovable redneck Daryl Dixon. Daryl wakes up on the southern coast of France where he encounters Isabelle, a nun, and a child named Laurent. Nuns believe that Laurent is the key to saving the world from walkers. One day, Caudron's men attack the abbey. Faced with the last request of the elder nun, Daryl is determined to protect Laurent and Isabelle on their journey to an outpost called the Nest. In return, Isabelle has pledged to assist Daryl in finding a port. Amidst the multiple crises, they support each other to break through the siege. Daryl comes with a detachable canvas bag, a harpoon and crossbow, and a couple of interchangeable hands. Adding to the ever-growing Star Trek Abrams verse, even though we haven't even got a single release yet, riding solo we have Sulu. Sulu first served as a helmsman of the USS Enterprise under the command of Christopher Pike. His pivotal role was evident when he, along with Kirk and Olsen, embarked on a daring space dive mission to halt Nero's drilling rig. preventing it from reaching the core of Vulcan. During his mission, Sulu valiantly battled the Romulans and shielded Kirk from a potentially lethal attack, showcasing his indispensable technical and combat skills as a key crew member on the starship. Sulu will feature 17 points of articulation and will come with a phaser pistol and communicator. It's just a shame that he seems exactly the same as Chekhov. I was hoping for some variation in body types and heights, but oh well. And now for my favourite Heya updates, we have the latest from G.I. Joe, starting with Baroness. A brilliant master of disguise and psychological manipulation, the Baroness is in control of every situation. Her only desire is to watch the world unravel, and she will use her inherited wealth, connections, and skills to make it happen, no matter where she needs to swear her allegiance. Baroness comes with a machine gun with silencer, knife, 2 pistols that can be holstered on her thighs. Doesn't seem like you're able to remove her glasses though, which is a small little detail that I would have liked to have had. In his Tiger Force garb, we have Flint. Tiger Force is called on for secret and highly dangerous missions. A special unit within the G.I. Joe team formed to combat the expansion of Cobra facilities in remote jungle locations around the world. The team navigates treacherous terrain to hunt down and dismantle Cobra operations. Besides the color variation, this Flint comes with more accessories. With his normal shotgun and pistol, he also comes with an additional gun and a knife. Also, with this version, which I didn't see in the previous, looks like there are butterfly joints in this 1/18 scale action figure. Next up, we have Gung Ho. A tireless brawler who is physically incapable of experiencing fear, Gung Ho punches first and lets someone else clean up the mess. A genetic anomaly that inhibits his fear response makes him willing to enter any situation, no matter the personal danger. His Bayou roots and the skills he owned there make him the perfect selection for missions involving jungle or swamp terrain, as well as solo and small group reconnaissance. Gung Ho comes with 3 weapons that can be stowed away on his backpack, and also comes complete with bare manly chest. And lastly, from our G.I. Joe coverage, we have Cobra Trooper. Cobra Troopers form the core of the Cobra forces. Their ranks are made up of criminals from around the world who have been drawn to the sinister hiss and dark message that is the Cobra Core. Typically wearing masks to hide their identity, they carry out chaos-causing missions handed down from Cobra Commander, who they faithfully serve without question. This has got to be my favourite of the currently announced G.I. Joe figures from Heya, and I have a feeling it will be a very popular army builder. It comes with 2 pistols, an SMG, rifle which you can stow away, and a knife, which hopefully there'll be some form of storage for that too. We now move on to some harsher weather conditions with Toys Alliance and acid rain, in particular the 88th and Imani. Imani grew up in the refugee camp of Argats. Whenever bandits attempted to raid the camp, the Hellbenders, a special division under the command of the 88th SAND team, would swoop in and protect them from all harm. Little surprise then that Imani admired the Hellbenders. The Hellbenders were originally formed with refugees, people just like her. Imani wanted to join them so that she too could protect her fellow friends and family, and to help those sharing the same fate. She even faked her age, signed up and trained hard as a mere little girl, just to receive training earlier than others. After Captain Donovan went missing, Spencer, the leader of Hellbenders, started to drown his sorrows by drinking. The Hellbenders began slacking off and even abusing their powers. They were a mess. Imani, on the other hand, had always stayed focused and trained hard, and with her strong will and clear mind, she soon became an excellent team player and role model on the squad, which inspired Spencer to reflect on himself. And so Spencer promoted Amani to become his right-hand woman in the hopes that she might inspire him as his old comrade used to do, and that she might reinvigorate the former glory of the famous Argurton Squadron. Toys Alliance continue with their unique female head sculpts, which I'm all for, and this seems to be on par with the excellence we got with Moira. Joining Amani at the 88th, we have Zeynep. Zeynep was born in the Vlachia Grey Zone to the north of Argots, adjacent to the Iron Cliffs. The place was filled with acid rain and poison gas, but also contained rich deposits of mutated rare minerals. Local warlords forced Zeynep and her family to head into those dangerous mines and mine the minerals in an exchange for daily essentials, gas masks and gas mask filters, which were so valuable they even served as a form of currency. She grew up witnessing people around her dying of starvation and illness. Most of the time the corpses were naked, since clothes were also a valuable resource, and quickly stripped from bodies. Until one day when a wanderer passed the mining site and liberated them. Zeynep's parents pleaded with him to take their daughter with him, as their bodies were corroded by the acid rain and they could not survive for long. But Zeynep, she still had a chance at a better life. So Zeynep travelled with the wanderer for months, finally arriving at the border of Argots. In the refugee camp of Argots, she heard a lot of rumours. One of them related to the wanderer. Under his cape, he was wearing the armour of a Soul Commander. He was actually the famed White Salamander. Her heart no longer filled with anger and despair. Instead, she could see a different world, a better world. Eventually, when she became the Soul Commander, even though her hands were stained with the blood of ruthless and cold-blooded villains, still her heart felt warmer than ever, because of all the blessings, gratitudes and smiles she received from the people she had saved. Zeynep looks to continue the awesome female figures we've been getting from Acid Rain. The Sand Leavis set. The Sand Leavis DD5S is a transformable drone with the ability to switch between remote control or intelligent exploration modes, and has both compact and expanded forms. In compact form, it has the ability to travel speedily by rolling in a barrel shape and can cover mines or traps on the road, thereby opening up a safe route for the convoy. When expanded, it can move quickly on 3 legs, searching for hidden enemies in narrow spaces, such as collapsed ruins. Its expandable module can be equipped with weapons, such as machine guns and mine-laying systems to wipe out garrisons. Nestled safely in the belly of a Sandang Kylo, the Sand Leavis drone is able to provide the support the 88th Sand Team needs for a successful operation. Just like the Field Flea before, the new Leavis drone seems to be Kit Lau's new little robot obsession. I'm sure we'll get even more variations of this little fella. This is the 88th Sand Water Strider. The Sand Water Strider QM3S is an all-terrain quadrupedal vehicle able to operate autonomously or installed on a trailer pulled by an Enkylo truck, which then frees up Strider drivers to focus exclusively on unloading its heavy firepower turret, providing excellent suppressive fire when supporting the front lines. When walking autonomously, it can be directly piloted by a human operator or remote controlled over short distances, effectively turning it into a self-propelled mobile turret that works in conjunction with infantry to either advance the lines or defend key bases of operations. A version of the Water Strider is already available for purchase in a different color variant for the 303rd Marines, which would work especially well with the Marine Enkylo. This will work especially well, as you can see from pictures here, with the new Sand Enkylo. The Sand Enkylo RV6S is an improved model all-terrain armoured vehicle specialised for the 88th Sand Team to travel across the scorching desert of the Estancian Grey Zone. Its 6 sizable and durable desert tyres allow it excellent ground-to-surface grip for smoothly climbing the dunes. The vehicle not only has enhanced thick armor on its front, but also on its side, in lieu of shooting ports, providing excellent defense and extra durability from enemy firearms. Supported by covering fire from long-range artillery and Laurel SAs, the Sandan Kylo was designed to get in quick to deliver troops to key points in the battlefield, giving it the nickname the Raider Truck. So this seems to be a variant of the new Buxan Kylo that was announced, but instead in the 88th Sand color scheme. So looking very nice in those desert colors. We have 3 new figures from the Republic of Yamato. Up first is Red Crow Ashigaru. The Red Crow Ashigaru is affiliated to the Red Crow Squadron, which used to be an Air Force unit from the Kaio Defense Unit. After Operation Shadow Den, the unit was reformed into the Yamato Special Assault Unit, responsible for handling terrorist attacks. The Red Crow Squadron is deployed exclusively by the Cabinet, and with the consent of a second nation, it may undertake counter-terrorism missions abroad. However, its members are not considered legal soldiers and are not allowed to carry out war-related missions. This one definitely stood out to me out of the 3. That helmet is really a standout for me. The head sculpt is brand new. He comes with a pistol that you can stow away, a rifle that's brand new, and he has 5 grenades to store away too. Up next is the Red Crow Paratrooper. Following the active volcanic eruptions of the Grey Summer, rich gold-containing material from the mantle was brought to the surface, forming a large number of new gold mines, which turned Yamato into a country of gold. However, under the protection of Pacific Terminal Limited, extremist forces could only lurk and launch sudden attacks, attempting to disrupt the regime from within. To counter these attacks, the Red Crow Squadron was reorganized from the Kaio Defense Air Force into a Special Assault Unit. Thus, the Red Crow paratroopers were the earliest soldiers of the Red Crow Squadron, and many members recruited later came from the ninjutsu school from the Kabudo. To respond to emergencies, the Red Crow paratroopers parachute into combat in the fastest way, opening up the situation for subsequent crisis resolution. Paratrooper definitely has the best accessories, and I'm quite fond of the way he can store one of his weapons on his chest. And finally, Red Crow Hamzat Ronin. Within the notorious Yamato Grey Zone, known for its heavy acid rain contamination, nuclear fallout, and continuous volcanic eruptions, some of the worst pollution in the world, the Red Crow Hamzat Ronin remain faithful in their allegiance to the Cabinet and Republic. Their enemies not only include the terrorists raging in the hazard zones, but also bandits equipped with CBRN weapons. They show no hesitation in seeking them out to strike them down. To prepare themselves for entering the hazardous zone, they utilize specialized equipment to guard against chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear CBRN threats. Fully aware that even the smallest tear to their protective gear could result in their demise, the fearless Red Crow Hazmat Ronin squad ritually sever all ties with family and clans, saying goodbye to their former lives. Left with no chance to continue their own bloodline, they bear the responsibility of protecting the nation and believe the spirit of the samurai will be reborn after their death. All 3 Yamato were expected at the end of August. We now move on to Joy Toy and an update on their military figures. First up we have their World War II German soldier Wehrmacht, which is just a polite way of saying Nazi. Next up is their Russian soldier, the Soviet infantry, who comes with a wealth of extras. And finally, you can't have guns in war without the United States Army. All 3 figures are shipping right now. Let's now catch up with all the goodies from Warhammer 40k. Ultramarines Indomitus Chaplain is released already and shipping now. You can find a review of this on Awesome Action Toys channel. Ultramarines Judiciar is one I'm looking to pick up, is shipping now. You can catch a video on Awesome Action Toys channel, Sprues and Studs, and AC Studio. From the Adeptus Sororitas, this is the Penitent Engine. Where most mech look quite fun to ride around in, this looks like a painful way to spend your Saturday night. If you want to get your hands on this unique figure, it's expected first quarter of this year, so very soon. Adeptus Mechanicus Castellan robot with heavy phosphor blaster. The spirit of this machine is shipping now, along with the previously announced Castellan robot. Astra Militarum Cadian Armored Sentinel, complete with 4-inch action figure, which you can actually put inside the Sentinel. Review of this, an in-depth review, is available from Awesome Action Toys, so go and check out his channel to see what this is all about. Adeptus Custodes Blade Champion is available now, and all the big boys have done reviews, so go check out Awesome Action Toys, Sprues and Studs, and AC Studio to find out if this is something you should have in your collection. We now move on to the Grey Knights Interceptor Squad, with the Interceptor Justicar, Interceptor with Incinerator, and the Interceptor with Stormbolter and Nemesis Force Sword. Shipping now and following from the baby carrier, Joyto are telling us they're all in with the Grey Knights, and also shipping along with this lot is the Grey Knights Strike Squad, including Justicar, Grey Knight with Silencer, and Grey Knight with Psy Cannon. Awesome Action Toys has already reviewed all of these, so go and check that out. I may pick up 1, 2, or 3 of these. One thing I'm definitely getting is Kaldor Drago. He's currently on the way to me. Hopefully he won't be lost in the warp through shipping. But he looks nice, big and bulky like the other Grey Knight Terminators. Speaking of Terminators, we've got the Dark Angels Deathwing Knight Squad. First up is the Deathwing Knight Master with Flail of the Unforgiven. Deathwing Knight with Mace of Absolution 1. And Deathwing Knight with Mace of Absolution 2. He's sort of hiding his head. So those that are in Terminator armor tend to be taller than your average Space Marine. But these guys have got a bit of a height bump from Joytoy, nearing Aryak Rockfist's height. And while I do feel that the Space Marines were slightly undersized, I do wish there was some consistency. However, joining the inconsistency, we have your average Dark Angels Deathwing, with Deathwing Strike Master with Power Sword, and the Deathwing Ancient with Company Banner, and Deathwing Champion. In my opinion, these are the best proportioned Terminators we've got so far, with nice thick torsos, thick legs, the arms don't look too long. And while I'm a fan of small heads, the helmeted heads may be a tad undersized. Guess I'll have to find out myself and get them in hand for research purposes. We now wade into the past of 40k with Warhammer Horus Heresy. Imperial Fists Mark III Tactical Legionnaires. First up, we have the Sergeant with Power Sword. Next is Legionary with Legion Vexilla. We have another Sergeant with Power Fist. And a Legionary with Bolter. So it looks like a Joytoy have gone all in with the 7th Legion. Joytoy taking full advantage of the new Horus Heresy Space Marine buck with all these variations, but they all look awesome, so difficult to decide on which ones to get. Personally, I've already pre-ordered the Imperial Fists Mark III Despoiler Legionnaires. We have the Sergeant with Plasma Pistol and Legion Despoiler with Chainsword. So getting these two was the most cost-effective way of getting my Space Marine Horus Heresy fix. But if you want the squad with the best loadout, you should really check out the Imperial Fist Mark III Breacher Legionnaires. The Sergeant comes with a Heresy era Thunder Hammer. Legion Breacher comes with a Graviston gun. And the Legion Breacher here with Las Cutter. Each of these guys also comes with additional weapons, and they each come with a shield. So definitely best bang for your buck with these three. They'll be next on my list. Joining the regular Marines, we've got the Legion Chaplain Console, complete with Plasma Pistol and Crozius Arcanium. This Chaplain Console is ready to get your Marines pumped up for the battle. Next is Legion Praetor with Power Sword and Fabulous Moustache. This guy is an instant buy for me. Just that head sculpt alone is worthy of the purchase. Also, all the details and the helmeted head look absolutely awesome. Next up we have character figure Fafnir Ran. Another mustached fella. This guy is my favorite of the Horus Heresy announcements so far. Dual wielding axes the way he is, and having this huge shield on his back looks absolutely brilliant. Sigismund, first captain of the Imperial Fists, is a man who needs no introduction, and would go on to be the first High Marshal of the Black Templars. His black sword though here is not looking so black, but it's the only weapon he needs. Next 118 toy news, there'll be even more from Horus Heresy, as well as 40k of course, maybe even something a bit larger that was teased, with no official details as yet. And also there's a bit from Heya that we need to swing around and get back onto as well. Feels like a while since I've done a video. I've had to have a bit of a break as I've been feeling a bit of burnout with everything going on. But thanks for sticking with this and checking out the video. Please click the link in my description if you want to support the channel and buy your own Joy Toy and Heya stuff with my discount codes. If you like this video, click the thumbs up. For more content, subscribe, and I'll scale you later.